Hey YouTube, my name is Gawd, and you're watching Gawd Cafe. So today we're gonna make a video about Mars in the 6th house. Now, you guys are an interesting bunch, but I love you guys because I have a lot of placements in the 6th house. So we're gonna get into it. So we're gonna break you guys down a little bit, but you guys kind of like that. Why? Because the 6th house. The 6th house is a house of mental health, routine, health period, organization, bullet points, list, getting things done. The house of Virgo. 6th house, Virgo. You take Mars, the house of action, motivation, war, warrior, sex drive period, ambition, impulses, everything primal about being human is what Mars rules. So you take that in the 6th house, and this individual, which is you, is motivated by things like, the gym, videos like these. You guys are obsessed with these videos, just period. Like any self-talking, self-help, self-developing motivates you. There's a motivation there. You guys get so motivated with, doing things right or according. And, depending on your chart, it could be for many different reasons. One reason being could be, perhaps, in your childhood, you used to, because I'll say that the house of Virgo, the 6th house, is like this awareness to every little detail that's like almost wrong, right? And I do feel like the 6th house does embody this, so it can entertain itself to pessimism. However, if you take that pessimism and don't let it break you, you can use it in a sort of Scorpio type of thing where you use it as death, transformation with, and then the rebirth, like where it's like killing off the traits that you don't like within yourself. Or, for example, you may be the individual who grew up fat and or overweight, and people just kind of like always picked on you, and now, you made it a duty to be a gym head because the trauma from being less than or feeling less than or nitpicking yourself. Perhaps someone said something and then you became a nitpicker about that one thing they said, because now, this is the house of tunnel vision. 6th house is like, I'm a tunnel vision. I don't see nothing else but it's kind of, it could be a little tunnel vision about like what needs to happen. And then the disappointments is very big here. You guys get very disappointed so easily. And it's okay because, it's understandable. You guys just have so much access to brain power. So it comes with the territory. So, but you need to understand that is a life. So start to compute that life will just always have its hiccups, and to not be so flustered when these hiccups happen, because come on guys, at this point, you already know the deal. Like, there's always a surprise. So like now, prepare for the surprise. You guys have the access to the Virgo energy here because Mars is attached to the 6th house here. Regardless if you have Mars in Virgo or not, Mars is in the 6th house. So it's in the realm of Virgo. So it operates whatever sign it is, but it's taking the Virgo class this life, if that makes sense. It's taking the 6th house class this life. So, to pay attention to what does motivate you, whether you feel like it does or not, you'll have to find out by trying certain things pertaining to the 6th house to see what does make you feel motivated. Because I'll say this, like, you could wake up, have your coffee, and guys, I have a 6th house here. Like, I have my little bullet points about like the videos I'm doing right now with my coffee. And if I didn't write this down, I have 6th house placements. Mercury, I have Sun, Mercury, um, I can't remember the planets right now, but there's a few. Neptune, Uranus, I have them there. So, I really understand this sixth house placement. I mean, the sixth house period. So, you know, whether you, okay, so this thing is with, okay, let's break down the bullet points. Let's say because I have Neptune here, right? So there's a little bit of Neptune tends to distort whatever it touches. So there was, growing up younger, there was a lot of distortion around my understanding of, health and mental health. And, I had to overcome a lot of things and wake up to who I was and what was going on around me. And then my consciousness fully, like, just honed into my body. I don't know how to explain that. It's as if, I hadn't have access to my soul for a long time. Like, yes, I did, but like in terms of the cognitive intertwining of the body and soul fully coming into one, couldn't understand what was the difference of not feeling that versus then feeling that, until I felt it. I didn't know I wasn't feeling it. And a lot of it had to do with the spiritual development pertaining to, this house. Because this house being that, it can, it will affect the mental health. That's everything in this life, right? Your mental health is everything. It's what would make you be willing to watch this video thus far, to have the patience to sit through the human that I am and, ignore your brain when it makes a comment over what it thinks about my aesthetic or what I'm saying, or if I'm even saying anything valuable, right? So this is what the brain does. And, sometimes you have to sit in it to figure out and assess what to really take from it, right? So it's like doing research. You're not going to just take everything you research as like, I'm using all of it, right? So, there's going to be things you weed out based off of trial and error. So for example, you're going to take something I'm saying to you, and if there's an opportunity where you can see how it could apply, and you try to see how it can apply, well, that will be the determining factor as to whether or not you fully receive and accept the information I've offered you as fact or not. Or not even fact, but just information for you to listen to, right? So in this house, Mars has to do this, being that you're so motivated off of a to-do list. You may never get to it because you'll just keep getting motivated by making the to-do list and make a huge to-do list you never get to, right? So it's like paying attention to where your mind is at while taking action, so that you can be aware as to whether or not it's the right action to actually partake in, being that you may get motivated by so many little things, and it could become overly distracting where you don't really fully invest in the things that you need to take action on a little bit more potent, and not just lend yourself to being a jack of all trades. What else? Yes, I mentioned the gym. The gym is motivating, and if not, it will be. Because you may have this placement because the universe wants you to be a health freak and a gym freak, and you may be like, "Ew, no!" And this might be before your spiritual return. I mean, your Saturn return. And if that is the case, my love, unfortunately, that's what it is. The thing we really don't want to do sometimes in life is like what it is that the universe really wants us to do. And sometimes it feels very triggering and overwhelming because this, poses as the biggest challenge at the moment for you or for your whole life. And when you become avoidant, it's like it doesn't leave your sight, okay? So it will be there as long as, until you like get to it. Like for me, I've been hoarding clothes for a long time. Like I don't really hoard anything else but clothes. Like I'll just store the clothes even if I don't wear it. And you know, I have to assess what's making me do that within, you know, because I have 6 house placements. So I'm like, okay, is there something in my mental health I'm not seeing? And you have to be willing to be wrong in order to be closer to being more right more frequently. If you're an individual who's too prideful and you can't ever admit when you're wrong, well, how can you ever truly see when you're truly right? If you're always trying to see how you're right even when wrong, because you're not trying to see how you're wrong, it hurts the ego too much. So it's very important to let yourself be okay being wrong, because the more okay you are with being wrong, the more right you're actually going to be. Okay? All right, Mars in the 6th house. My name is Gawd, and you're watching Gawd Cafe. Until next time.